MSS just means manuscripts, right? And what's interesting is that almost all manuscripts of the Quran, no matter where we look, no matter when we look, they almost all have the same like rasm type. So what I mean is that they have the same consonantal skeleton, right? Obviously, there's like a margin of error. There's like, very, very, very tiny minor like scribal errors and things like that. Right? Of course, every manuscript that gets copied, obviously, things happen in the course of transmission. But what's really significant is that the differences are insignificant. They're all the same rasm type. You see what I'm saying? Like these are all, no matter where we look, it's the same Quran, right? In terms of the rasm, right? Like 99% or whatever. Like it's the same text. So everywhere we look, we find the same rasm type, right? Across time and space in the manuscript evidence, right? And there's extremely low variation and high precision in copying, right? And this is most notably demonstrated by Moraine van Putten in his article on the grace of God, right? And so he looks at these two different spellings of ni'mah, right? Ni'matullah, right? I've shown it here, right? You can see the two here in Arabic, the two different spellings, and the spelling difference here is just two different kinds of T's, essentially, right? One is a standard T, it's a ta over here, and the other one is a ta marbuta, right? So it'll be in a pausal form, it'll be pronounced as a H, right? Ni'mah, but then in context, it'll be ni'mat, right? So these two words, these two spellings of ni'mah, they're pronounced the same, right? In context, they mean exactly the same thing. It's the same thing. It's the same word. It's just two slightly different ways of spelling exactly the same word with the same meaning, right? And so in some places in the Quran, it's spelled one way, in some places it's spelled the other way. Now, here's what's interesting. This is what Van Putten points out. If you look across early Quranic manuscripts, right, in one place it'll be spelled one way, right? And then you look in all the early manuscripts, and in most of them, in the same place where it's spelled one way, it's spelled that one way in all of them. And then in another place it'll be spelled a different way, and it's spelled that different way in that place in all of them, right? So whenever one has the one, trivial, irrelevant, slight difference in spelling, they all, virtually all have that, and so on for in each case, right? Now, what this means is that the scribes who are copying this aren't just copying the word; they're making sure to preserve the exact irrelevant, meaningless variant in spelling. That's how precise they are. They could easily just change it or update it or standardize it or just make it all one spelling and make it another, but they don't. They're preserving even the irrelevant, superfluous, meaningless, optional idiosyncrasies. That's how precisely it's being transmitted. So there's extremely low variation and extremely high precision in copying even of these idiosyncrasies. Does that make sense?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.